All right, everyone, welcome back to another Complexity Cast production of your casting host, Beef. Joining me today is FJ. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing very well, buddy. I'm very excited for this game, honestly. I always love seeing Complexity Gaming in action, one of the better teams out there. And now I'm actually a little bit curious. What is your replay time on right now?
My replay timer right now is... I'm still at 2 minutes. What the heck? I thought I started this.
Are you
Okay.
started yet?
No, now it's started. All right. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
at 206, 7, 8, 9. I don't know why that didn't start.
okay,
You with me?
sort of. 2:15 right now.
Okay, I'm going to
Is that
pause.
about right?
All right, I'm
All
at
right.
222, 23, 24.
Yeah, that's perfect. I'm like half
Okay,
a second behind you, so that's perfect.
great. Okay. I don't know. I'm
Yeah, we're
replays,
fine.
man.
We're good. We're
Replays.
good.
It's difficult. But today we are, in fact, bringing you Complexity versus Pencils. This is the lower round of 8. These games happened a couple of hours ago. Complexity Gaming really just made it into Diamond, dropping in the first round of HoN Tour with a forfeit, having to fight their way through some serious teams, made their way through Arena Online Esports, and now facing Pencils, probably one of their fiercest competitors yet. What do you know about this team, FJ?
It's one of the old school teams. We know these players. They've been playing for a long time together. Sweet Pro is not usually on this team, but they are all Swedish as far as I know. But I know the Pablo McDad, Bassett, Flensmeister, Fashion, they definitely have a past together, so they know how they each other play individually. So can
Yeah,
only say that these guys are definitely some good competitors.
I agree with you there. I think Pencils was one of the first teams that I ended up casting complexity scrims with. So they actually put up some very good games then. So we'll see if it happens again. But we are already well on the way into this game. Blind bands coming up way up here were Ophelia, Wild Soul, Tundra, and Fade. Anything worth noting there?
No, it's pretty standard to be honest. You know that complexity really likes to ban certain heroes against certain teams, and yeah, that bans definitely make sense in this case. Because like we know what kind of style Beacon likes to run. When he plays Legion, he usually bans something like Fade, Tundra, similar stuff, because he knows that other people can really fuck up with those kind of picks. You don't want to be outdrafted in a cheesy way. He also likes to ban stuff like your Sire and Keeper of the Forest, not in this case, but I mean, he really doesn't like to get cheesed because he knows Complexity Gaming is one of the better teams out there. He knows that his team can perform better in like standard lineups, so he just don't want to get cheesed whatsoever. That's also the case here.
All right, all right. Make it into the lock pool. We do have Warbeast, Bumbles, Tempest, Keeper of the Forest, Plague Rider, and Draconis. 3 very, very strong jungle pushing type heroes. Couple that can play the Suicide, and Dragon making it into the lock pick there. What do you think about the lock pool?
Oh, it's kind of interesting that the only carry we see here is actually the Draconis. Well, we of course there's Warbeast now for that matter, but seeing Draconis here kind of gives a little bit of a lead to Complexity Gaming right now because now they have the entire pool to go with. Like they know they can get up Draconis, they know they can get that Mage Main right now. What are they called? They're called pencils
Yeah,
already picked up
pencils.
Corrupted Disciples. So like B-Kid knows what's up on Pencil's team right now, so he can pick right off the bat. He knows he's gonna get that Draconis if he wants to.
All right. Yeah, Complexity with that lock pick right there. We'll see what they do choose. We actually have all 3 of the other ones coming through already, but real quick, blow through these bands. We did, in fact, have Dark Lady, Parasite, Meraxis, Pebbles, Nymphora, and Silhouette. Some of those very strong ganking type heroes, Meraxis, Pebbles, Nymphora, all banned right there, even Parasite, and then a couple of the very hard carries in there as well, Dark Lady and Silhouette. Nothing too much to talk about there. First pick that was coming out was, in fact, Polywog Priest, a hero with a lot of mid lane potential, could even be played in the support role, but Bassett's most likely going to be playing that in some form of a solo capacity. Lots of gank potential and push potential. But we already have these teams completed. FJ, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Legion lineup?
Well, if you look at it, they have a lot of push potential going on. If they can pick up just one kill, they can easily push with either War Beast or Polaric Priest. You can also consider this lineup for sort of a split push lineup because both War Beast and Polaric Priest can pretty much just drop a tower pretty quickly. Polaric Priest can drop his wards, and War Beast obviously has his wolves. So I mean, this team definitely has a lot of potential going on for it, and like. Right now, you actually don't see Polaric Priest being played a lot as a solo these days, basically because his ward trap has changed significantly from what it started off with. Like right now, before back in the days, you could ward trap one and you can expect to have him trap for at least 10 seconds. And in most cases, you'd kill off a hero unless it's a strength hero with loads of armor. Right now, you only need to kill off one ward, and then you're pretty much out. So ward trap is no longer a kill trap anymore. So playing him in the middle lane is something we don't see too often. His jolts has also changed quite a bit. Right before, it was a you could kind of chain it and you can harass with it. Right now, you have to kind of have the opponent into a circular cone before you can actually kill. Before you can actually, I mean, deal any damage with Polaric Priest. So I'm actually kind of curious as to how it's going to be going for him in the middle lane, especially against. I think it's going to be Magma's middle, possibly with a little bit of help from Francie playing the Glacius. We know that he likes to go they like to go dual lane in the middle. I think Polaric is going to have a really hard time in this game.
Yeah, I think that you might be right there, but you already pointed out a little bit of the Hellborn team. Franzi and Magnus B-Kid teaming up with his support buddy as usual here in the middle lane. Top lane being soloed by Haxorn in that short lane, and Moon Meander going to be playing that Keeper of the Forest in the suicide position. Nothing new there. We already see Chessie on the Tempest, getting the deny off right there, makes it back to the well to get the regen. That's really going to help Keeper of the Forest with these Tree Dogs already pushing the lane back a little bit, and the Tempest deny. He's going to have some pretty good laning position down here for the suicide.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what else? It's really difficult for Corrupted Disciple to put any pressure to this Keeper of the Forest, because every time he wants to put up that Corrupted Conduit, Keeper of the Forest can pretty much just invest out of it. And Luna is not going to have an easy time harassing him either, because he's pretty much just standing around in the forest, pulling these creeps, as you can see, using his animated trees to pull back the lane. And wow, it's going to be difficult for Team Pencils to keep out the lane control. As you see, Corrupt Disciple already dropping half on HP, and the lane is exactly where Moon Meander wants it to be.
Yeah, Moon doing an absolutely fantastic job there of getting the lane control, which is really one of the most important things when you're in a short lane solo or even a suicide position. Just making sure that you don't push it into their tower, they're not getting it into yours. And if you're able to get into that effective position, then you're going to get at least some experience, and you're probably going to be objectively winning that suicide lane. So Moon Meander, one of the best suicides out there, doing that absolutely perfectly. And we already see in the middle lane, Franzi has actually got perfect positioning here on Bassett's, making sure that every time that Bassett walks forward to try to get a last hit, he's taking an auto attack or two, even using that glacial imprisonment, ice imprisonment there to be putting a little bit of pressure on him earlier on. Bassett's going to have a hard time there with that stun lane, Magnus, lots of kill potential.
Yeah, I completely agree. But the thing is, right now, before Magnus level 3, it's not going to be very easy to kill Polaric Priest due to the range of his Lava Surge. As long as Bassett can stay just in the edge of his auto attack range, then he'll be most certainly be fine. I don't think Francie will want to be going uphill because he'll take too much damage from these creeps, as well as take harassment from Polaric Priest. But I mean, as you can see, Magnus is doing very fine in the middle, sitting at 250 gold per minute. Like, it'll just be a matter of time before Polaric Priest cannot get into range anymore. And as you see, he's already blown all of his mana. So even if they do decide to go for him, he doesn't have a morph.
Yeah, in the jungle now, Hasted Moon Meander on this Keeper of the Forest is just putting a little bit of harassment onto Sweet Pro's War Beast, killing a couple of his minions, and now making his way towards mid as the Lava Surge comes in here, the Ice Imprisonment as well, and Moon Meander summons the Tree Dogs. Nice job blocking right there. He might be able to get the kill. B-Kid tries to go in, but no. Franzi with the last auto attack there on Glacius scores first blood onto Pencil's mid.
Yeah, very good first blood done by the Hellborn team, and a good micro from Moon Meander coming up with those minions. Unfortunately, he blocked B-Kid a little bit with his hero without auto attacking because he wanted to pass him on the kill, but oh wow. Moon Meander. Well done though. A good pickup on the haste rune. And well, as you noticed, Magnus didn't have a haste rune, and since Mumiana had a hard time getting XP at bottom lane, he just decided to go for the rune instead.
Sure. Yeah, I like that. I mean, even though B-Kid probably going to get that bottle very, very soon here. In fact, he already has it now. It looks like it's been delivered relatively recently. Opting not to get that bottled up by the mid. Like you said, good communication there by Complexity, knowing that they would make better use of it if it did in fact go on to a different player. And in the middle lane again, Lava Surge comes in once again. The Ice Imprisonment and auto attacks come out, and B-Kid's gonna take a fall after getting the last hit there on Bassett. So a 1-for-1 exchange. Extremely good positioning there by Fine on the Aluna to get in there, get the stun off, the power throw, and the counter kill onto B-Kid.
Yeah, definitely. And but I wanted to point out, as you can see, Keeper of the Forest is just clearing Ancients very slowly. So that's definitely just the strength of Keeper of the Forest. If you cannot go back to your lane, you can just start clearing Ancients already at level 3. I mean, how often do you see that on other heroes? I believe Keeper is probably the only hero that can do it apart from Soul Reaper, who can do it with his aura, in all honesty.
Yeah, Soul Reaper definitely has that possibility. You can see Moon laughing at Fine right there. Well, excuse me, on Sweet Pro's War Beast. Fine already had a Ward of Revelation down there to block, or excuse me, to get rid of the blocking ward. But in the middle lane, Lava Surge coming in again. The Tree Minions are there. The Ice Imprisonment to finish him off. Frenzy takes home the 3rd kill of the game onto this Polywog Priest middle, having a very bad time. Moon assisting in 2 out of these 3 kills so far.
If you had ever told me you were going to be going for a gank and Keeper of the Forest and Ancients, I would be laughing my ass off.
Oh, they're in the forest. Keeper wanted to be able to get that Snotter camp, but Fine, with beautiful positioning, was able to get a couple of auto attacks, a power throw, and a stun. And Keeper of the Forest, despite being invisible, took a fall there. The 2nd kill for Pencils, but like you said, ganking Keeper of the Forest, that's not something you see every day.
Definitely not. I mean, but it would be kind of cool to see the reaction of public players if you called that out in the TMM game. Oh boy, someone would get mad, definitely.
We see Franzi dropping a relatively deep ward of sign up here. Might be looking to start a push relatively soon. Yeah, Tempest coming out of the jungle, starts to summon those elementals. Bubbles throws the Shell Surf downfield, try to clear up a little bit of that, getting an anti-push going on. But with Franzi being in position right now, the Shell Surf on cooldown, Glacial Imprisonment, or Ice Imprisonment comes out, Tempest Glacial Blast come in, and even drops the Black Hole. Bat Blast comes out as Chessie takes the 1st kill. Bassett drops for the 4th time, and now Aluna just a little bit out of position. The Ice Imprisonment comes out. Glacius might be looking to try to turn it around with the Tundra Blast and get another kill, but no, Aluna walking on out of there, lands a nice power throw into Hag to interrupt that potion, but 2 kills there for Complexity, and they were even able to put a decent amount of pressure onto this tower.
Yeah, that was a very unfortunate TP by Basses. He was only level 4. I mean, what could he really do in that situation? And that Black Hole, very well done by Tempest. And that's what you saw right there. You saw the wall being placed by Franzi, and that kind of resulted in them being able to push without them not knowing what was going on. I mean, if someone was going to be counter-ganking them, they would know instantly. And very well placement by Peter Pandem, also known as Franzi. That guy really knows how to place his wards correctly. And if there's anything he could do, it's definitely that. I'm so impressed by the way he wards all the time. He always seems to be one step ahead if you compare it to his opponent.
Yeah, very, very strategic mind there in Franzi, able to get the placement on those wards where the team's going to need them, and it really enables their ganks. It's not really looking for people as much as we know that we're going to go for that push up top. We know we're going to go for the ganks. What's going to keep us safe so that we don't overextend? And that's exactly what that ward did. If there was somebody coming up from that 2nd tier tower, they would have seen it with plenty of time to get out of there. So brilliant, brilliant job with that warding. And that's putting Complexity into a 2,000 gold advantage, 1,700 experience advantage, and perhaps most importantly, keeping Bassett's Polywog Priest level 5, only 100 GPM right now. That's going to be a pretty rough position as a Polywog Priest, a kind of a snowballing hero.
Yeah, and we haven't even discussed this, but have you noticed how great Keeper of the Forest is in this game? Look at the physical damage coming out from the Legion team. We have Polywog Priest Ultimate, we have Warbeast, we have Corrupted Disciple. The amount of physical damage is just tremendous, and when you have something like by Mumi and a plane like Keeper of the Forest applying armor to his teammates, oh boy, Warbeast and Corrupted Disciple is gonna have a significantly worse time. with being against Moomiender. I mean, honestly, when you're chasing someone and Moomiender all of a sudden goes ahead and pops you invis or gives you tremendous amounts of armor, damn, I would be mad at playing Corrupted Disciple or War Beast in this game. Keeper of the Forest was an absolute amazing pick in this game, definitely.
I could agree with you on that one. We'll see what other kind of armor items make their way onto this complexity lineup. Talking maybe something like a Soul's Bulwark relatively early here. Always nice for pushing, but great for that positive armor as well. Maybe even one of those new Bloodstones. Is that the Sacrificial Stone? That's what they call it.
Yeah, Sacrificial Stone, indeed.
Something that I've seen in a few scrims in the last couple of days, and even a couple of HoN Tour matches that people are starting to pick up a lot. They like the stats, they like the use on it, and of course that armor aura. Very, very nice. So we'll see if that does get picked up here in this game. But now, 9 minutes into it, 5 hero kills to 2, an advantage for complexity here. Everybody on complexity now, level 6. With a decent amount of experience lead, but nothing too insurmountable. Bottom lane, they're trying to get a push here, but Glacier is able to come in with that Glacial Blast and able to clean it up a little bit. Tundra Blast. I want to call everything Glacius does Glacial something or another, but whatever.
Yeah, it makes sense. Sounds pretty good.
Yep.
I tend to do that with Pyromancer as well. I call like his ultimate is Pyroblast and his stun is Pyro Stun and Pyro Wave or whatever. I tend to do that on some heroes. But yeah, I can agree with you.
So this Corrupted Disciple been essentially free farming the entire time down here. Flensmeister on that CD. He's at 377 GPM right now. I actually don't have the items open. Sorry about that. That was an accident. Going with a Beast Heart. Looks like he's going to go for a very, very quick Helm of the Black Legion here. Something that we don't see too often just because we don't see Corrupted Disciple very often. But when he was more popular, that was one of the ways you could build him. Do you agree with starting to get that very tanky presence on Corrupted Disciple early in this game?
Well, if you consider how Helm of the Black Legion affects his hero, if you consider the damage he's going to be taking, oh, actually we do see an initiate into middle lane.
Yeah, middle lane, the Lava Surge comes in. And, well, Polywog Priest turns it around with some Voodoo Wards. There in comes Bubbles with the Shell Surf Song of the Sea, and now it looks like B-Kid's in some trouble. The Tongue Tie to finish it off. Nice ward trap there by Bassett, saving his own ass and getting a kill out of that.
Yeah, a little bit of a misplay by Peekit. If you notice, he just Lava Surge and instantly started channeling Ultimate. What he did forget was that Ice Imprisonment is not really a silencer. You can still cast spells even though you're in Ice Imprisonment. And as you saw, Bassett executed that very well, instantly morphed him, interrupting his ultimate and popping down that those Voodoo Wards. At bottom lane, at top lane, we actually see Haxon picking up a kill onto Fashion and now manning up onto Bubbles. Bubbles turning it around with an ultimate, as well as a Shell Surf. And now Haxon is a lot of tower. Bassett comes in with an electric jolt. And down goes Haxon, playing that wretched hack. Now a Tongue Tie coming in onto Tempest, but no, not going to be any follow-up, seeing as there's no mana onto his Bubbles. Luckily for them, they got the kill onto the tower, and a bottom lane B-Kid picks up a kill onto Sweet Pro, playing that War Beast, and wow, all this action is hard to follow. Tempest comes in with his ultimate, and in comes a lot of damage onto Corrupted Disciple. Will it be enough? He does have his own selection. It will be enough, and down he goes. Well done by Complexity Game, picking up a tower, as well as 2 kills. In exchange for 1 death onto Haxon playing the wretched hack.
Yeah, Haxrin, he went for a real big dive up in that top lane, diving onto the Illuna, being played by Fine. Oh, middle lane, the Lava Surge coming out once again. A couple of body blocks, the Sonar Scream from Hag, and B-Kid takes that one home. But in the top lane, we had seen Haxrin dive pretty deep past the tower, wanted to get the Sonar Scream and the Haunt onto Illuna, but actually a very nice stun from Illuna prevented the Haunt from going out. Hag eventually finished it off with a few auto attacks, but by that time, Pablo McDad was able to come back in on the Bubbles. He's able to get that kelp field off onto Chessie and Haxerin, and he was really able to kite them at that point, using that Shell Surf, getting into the jungle, knowing that if they wanted to follow him in there, they would break the kelp field and they might die. And they were actually able to turn that around, picking up a kill onto Chessie once the Illuna and the Polywog got back up there, finishing it off with the Electric Jolt, like you said. And in the bottom lane, War Beast, he took out that bottom tower, just went for a little bit too far of a dive and got turned around. The Elemental Void from Tempest was in fact used. And top lane, the Hex comes out as well as the Ward Trap. In comes the Shell Surf, Song of the Sea, Tongue Tied, and Haxerin takes the fall. The Kelp Field being used there perhaps not so necessary, but, you know, you want to secure a kill on that carry.
Definitely, and well, I guess you can consider HoN playing the red attack the main carry in this game, and now we do see a pressure coming up onto top lane. I'm wondering if they can defend it. They do not have Tempest ultimate. They do have Keep ultimate, however. So wondering if they will just let this fall or decide to push middle lane a bit instead. And that's actually what they're going to be doing. We do see Tempest, Magnus, and Glacius in the middle lane. They probably will be able to pick up this tower. So a 1-for-1 tower exchange, as well as the kill and as well as the death onto HoN playing the rich attack.
Yeah, Pencil's actually looking very good in that respect. They're even making their way into the jungle now. Stole some triple camp there. They were actually able to pick up all 6 of the Tempest Elementals plus the double stacked camp there. So quite a bit of money coming back for the Pencils team. They still do find themselves down about 2,300 gold so far in this game. And very nice job by Complexity spreading the farm out equally. It looks like 4 of their players above 300 GPM, 2 above 350, whereas the only person really with outstanding farm on the Legion team is that Corrupted Disciple at a staggering 423 GPM at this point. CD getting pretty big here.
Yeah, definitely, but the question is, what items does he need to pick up in order to make this make it his game? Because I'm kind of thinking he needs Shrunken Head against this, but he also needs something like Diameter's Bane. First of all, because he needs to be able to dispel those roots from Keep of the Forest. He also needs to put up that Shrunken Head, and so he doesn't get too locked down by both Magnus, Glacius, Rich Attack, Tempest, and Keep of the Forest. And after that, he can start building damage items. So it's like the road for him to become a massive effect in this game is really long. So that's kind of why you not the biggest fan of Keep of the Forest, because usually when you see a carry, he either has something going for him. He either has something like he can farm really easy, like Dark Lady Magebane Silhouette. He can dispel roots, such as Silhouette can do, or it's really hard to gank because of the grapple. Same as Magebane, same as Dark Lady. Corrupted Disciple is not that difficult to gank. His farming capabilities aren't great because he's not going for a Rune Dax. He doesn't have much AoE apart from Light Electric Tide. So, that's kind of like you usually pick Corrupted Disciple as a counter to another carry, or as something you just want to build your team fight around, so you can like just not die, pounce around with all his damage in these team fights. And yeah, I just don't feel like that's
Tempest comes in, he blinks in, using that newfound portal key, the Glacial Blast coming out as well. Sweet Pro activating the ultimate there on Warbeast is going to be able to get out of there for the time being. And there were a couple of abilities used there. The Root from Moon Meander used, wasn't able to pick up the kill onto Warbeast.
No, that was very unfortunate. He didn't have to follow it right there. Magnus just a few seconds off with his Lava Surge, and Ice and Prince was also...
Speaking of Magnus, absolutely jumped right there. The newly picked up portal key on Bassett's, but now Bassett's getting turned around on. The Haunt goes out as well as the Sonar Scream, but Haxorn choosing to back off, knowing he doesn't have the follow-up for the time being. Oh, Magnus right there just got hexed, ward trapped, shell surfed, and power throwed. Down goes B-Kid, who's got a portal key of his own. It's kind of odd that we haven't really seen him use that.
No, I completely agree. I was going to be expecting a lot of team fights coming out from Complexity Gaming now that B-Kid has his portal key, but apparently not. They just want to kind of hang back for the time being and just play this safe. And I mean, if like that's kind of the forces with Complexity Gaming. They really know how to play a safe game. If you notice, they always have Peter Pandem stacking. His warding placement is perfect. They do not get ganked. They exactly know, like they know where Moonman is supposed to be farming. They know where Haxon is supposed to be farming, and like it just goes. Everything, they all have the TPs and the mana to defend towers while they're farming, and that's what you see on the GPM tab. Everyone is above 300 gold per minute, and it's very balanced on the team of Complexity Gaming. Whereas, as you see on the Legion side, with the Pencils team, it's only one guy. Maybe you can consider Warbeast being up there as well, but it's only one guy who really has that sky-high GPM, and the rest is kind of just falling behind a little bit.
Corrupted Disciple might be in some trouble. In comes the Blink. The Haunt comes out as well as the Sonar Scream, but no follow-up just yet. The Legion team is in in position to try to do a little bit of counter initiation. The blink in from Magnus going to follow up with a lava surge. There it is, a sonar screen, but Corrupted Disciple very tanky. In comes Frenzy with that ultimate, the Bat Blast coming out, hitting 3 of the Legion players. Kelpfield gonna hit 2 of the Hellborn right here. Frenzy takes a fall to War Beast. Now it looks like B-Kid tries to turn it around, but the Eruption not gonna get anything done there. The lava surge misses, but a huge Tempest ultimate. The Meteor comes down, able to take out Bassett's on that Polywog Priest. Now it's just War Beast and Bubbles versus the others. War Beast falls, Bubbles the last one down, and one more auto attack from Haxroom. He falls as well. A genocide now for Complexity Gaming as they manage to take that tower, losing 3 of their own.
Yeah, that was, I gotta say, it took Complexity Gaming about 20 seconds or something to kill that Corrupted Disciple, but they finally did. They sure did. Wow. And now Haxon's asking how many buybacks. None were used, Haxon. None were used. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, it took them so much time to kill that Corrupted Disciple. That time could really have been used for the Legion team to TP in and make some works, helping that Corrupted Disciple a lot earlier. Unfortunately, they didn't. They kind of let Corrupted Disciple die, and then they started fighting in that team fight. Haxon, if you notice, he did a great ultimate. I believe it hit 3 or 4 players. Yeah. Looking at the damage tab, he has 17% of all damage done in this game. This is, he's doing quite well right now, I gotta admit.
Haxerin showing lately that he is very, very comfortable playing this wretched hag hero. You talked about it earlier. You said this could be considered the hard carry for the Complexity team. I would have to completely agree with you. Hag, once she gets into that late game, the free blink that I was actually talking to Tralf about a few days ago, the blink and then maybe going something like a Sheepstick or a Hellflower enables her to be such a bursty gank potential hero. Middle lane, the Ward Trap going down. In comes the Thunder Blast here from Glacius, and B-Kid comes in with the Lava Surge as well as the Glacial Blast coming out now. The turnaround is, no, just kidding. Haxerin comes in with the Sonar Scream, finishes that one off. The wards are getting cleaned up here, but already the tower did fall. Bassett's took that one home, but at what cost? He paid for it with his own life. Was that worth it to get that tower, but losing his life for it?
Well, I mean, in theory, yes, it is, because he's getting more gold out of it, but Legion side is, Complexity Gaming is now picking up the Concord kill. So in that respect, no, it wasn't really. Like, if you just take 1 life for a tower, yes, it's definitely worth it. But if they have to lose a team fight or like get a Concord kill in order to like remedy that situation, no, definitely not worth it.
Yeah, Complexity showing right now that they definitely have that Concord potential. The Tree Dogs, the Tempest Elementals, very much so able to take this out. The red power throw comes in there at the last second, but Haxerin picks up that token. Complexity takes home the gold, and some words that I don't understand as an American being uttered there. Who knows what that means? But
it means so close.
Okay. That you know what? It looks kind of like you would say that in English. Yeah. Anyway, Haxerin picks up a Hellflower. What do you think about that?
Well, obviously Hellfire is a really great item, and normally you either have the option of going Shrunken Head, maybe Nullstone, or Frostwood Skull, Hellflower on Wretched Hag. And of those items, I do believe Hellfire was definitely a good call. He does have token, he doesn't really need that Shrunken Head right now. If he dies, I don't see him dying, really, because they have to pull out so much damage in order to kill him. He has to be really out of position in order to die, and with that token, Hellflower is definitely the best call, I gotta admit.
Alright. I like the Hellflower a lot just because it does have that burst potential to it. Sheepstick, with that slow and the stun, essentially, component to it, it's nice, but there's no extra burst damage, and that's what you really get here from the Hellborn team. They have a ton of burst potential with that Magnus, and with that Hag as well. You throw that Hellflower up on somebody before they're able to get a Shrunken Head off, someone like this War Beast, they're just going to die. So I definitely like that. Very, very nice pickup. We do now have 3 portal keys on the Hellborn team, as Keeper of the Forest picks his up as well to complement those already on B-Kid, Magnus, and the Tempest. So going to have a lot of initiation potential here from the Hellborn team. The initiation potential on the other side, there's a push stick on this Bubbles. He's going to be able to get in there and possibly use that kelp field, but no portal key being picked up just yet. Portal key already there on Polywog Priest as well, but they do have a very strong hero that's able to kind of stand in front, take up some of the damage, and really tank during those team fights, and that's Corrupted Disciple, who he's got that he's got that Helm of the Black Legion working on that shrunken head now, it looks like, that you talked about earlier, and once he gets that, it's going to be very hard for them to take him down in these team fights. As we already saw, he was a pretty resilient guy even in that last fight.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be really difficult to take out now that he has the shrunken head. But what I really think is going to happen is that
sorry, over here at the Ancients. Yeah, Keeper of the Forest being played by Moon Meander got caught out. The Word of Revelation wasn't in the perfect spot to get him, but then he walked into it immediately. The Hex and the Ward Trap. The Legion team comes in, and Sweet Pro on Warbeast actually picking up that kill. Go ahead, like you were saying.
Yeah, well, both of these kills where Moomian has been, both of these deaths where Moomian has been involved has pretty been like a cause of him just being a little bit too aggressive. You saw him at one time in the Legion Forest, and you see him at Ancients, and the counter was just kind of blowing him up right there. But yeah, definitely unfortunate. But yeah, like I was saying, Corrupted Disciple is definitely going to be a very difficult hero to kill from now on. But what I think we're going to be experiencing is that we'll see them going for heroes like Bubbles and Polywog Priest as the very first, and they'll leave Warbeast and Corrupted Disciple for last. Oh, actually, I didn't notice that, but it looks like Wretched Hag picks up a kill onto Bubbles using that Hellflower, and that's what we see right there. Hellflower is a definite powerhouse against those heroes such as Polywog Priest and Wretched Hag.
It was kind of funny. Right as you said, they're going to be looking at Bubbles. Bubbles was actually being initiated on at that point. The Hellflower came out. The Bat Blast was used. The Haunt applied as well. And Bubbles was able to get out of there with the Shell Surf, but the Haunt dot ticked a little bit too hard at that point, and it looked like he did, in fact, fall. Pablo McDad taking his third death of the game. And Haxorn going all the way up to 7 kills so far. Haxorn having an absolutely fantastic game.
Yeah, and he did very well against that Bubbles at top lane as well. Normally you kind of consider Bubbles to be a little bit ahead of Wretched Hag due to the fact that Bubbles start off with more armor than Wretched Hag. As far as I'm concerned, I believe that is the case. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that is the case. I've been doing that lineup quite a bit of times. But yeah, I believe that we will be seeing in these next couple of team fights, we'll be seeing Haxorn trying to go immediate for either Bubbles or Polywog Priest. If you can kill Polywog Priest before he drops his wards down, the team fights should really be in your favor. Corrupted Disciple and Warbeast does not deal nearly enough damage for them to be really worried about having to kill them at first.
Shrunken Heads making their way onto the field. Now Warbeast has had his finish for a short while. Corrupted Disciple and Tempest both picking up theirs now. And with that Tempest Shrunken Head, the level 2 ultimate available right now, Hellborn team looking for an engagement. Invisible Haxorn on that Wretched Hag with the Aegis in an offensive position up here. And in comes the Portal Key Lava Surge. The Hellflower comes out. The Shrunken Head not able to be activated just yet. Now he gets that off. Tempest in there with a big ultimate. The Root comes in from Keeper of the Forest. And now Haxorn actually falling. The Aegis of Life going to pick him back up. Kelpfield goes down just on Moon Meander. Lava Surge comes in, and finally Flensmeister on that Corrupted Disciple does in fact fall. The Ward's not able to get enough done. The Hellborn team still all up at this point. Glacial Blast and the Bat Blast finishes off Polywog Priest at this time. The Hellflower reapplied to Warbeast. He comes back in, and now he falls. A genocide here. 5-for-0 trade. Complexity in perfect position to take this tower, maybe even put some pressure on that Rax, pushing them to an 11,000 gold lead, 18,000 experience lead. Look at everyone on the Complexity team. Everyone's at like 15% life with the exception of Beacon, who I believe just had a regen rune or something, because he was lower before. They played that team fight so ridiculously well.
Yeah, and that's what I like. That's what you notice right here. It's so difficult for the Legion side to focus one target because they don't really have any lockdown apart from Bubbles Kelp Field. They don't have a Pharaoh Wall or a Keeper Root or a Tempest Ultimate they can somehow use to get a kill off. That kill feed is just kind of not enough when when your opponents have that many shrunken heads, stunners, interrupters like that. And Polaris Beast is doing absolutely nothing due to the Hellfire and all the interrupters from both Magnus, Glacius, Keeper, Tempest, as well as Hellfire from Witch Attack. It's so difficult for the Legion side to really get a grip. If you want to play a lineup like Legion side, you need to get the advantage early on. And that's really difficult because they have two carries. They both have War Beast and Corrupted Disciple. Oh, I'm not too sure if I like that lineup anymore. Like, come to think of it, it's in this mid game.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. In the jungle over here, Chessie being stalked, the portal key just in time before that shell serve did in fact come out. Chessie with lightning fast reflexes, they're able to get out of there. But, like you said, I mean, it really comes down to something like this Bubbles not having a portal key, not able to get in there. There was a couple of times where he would have been able to land 3 or 4 people with a kelp field, but because he wasn't able to, he didn't quite get that one. Moonmander drops a root right there onto the triple stacked Ancients. It's a little bit questionable to use that one. I think he would have been just fine otherwise. Warbeast was trying to snipe it with one of his wolves, it looks like. But Keeper of the Forest. Moonmander saying, heck no, I'm going to use that root. Kill your minion. In comes, it actually looks like Polywog Priest with the Hex there and the Ward Trap. Haxerin on that Wretched Hag is in fact going to fall. With this Hag down, the Legion team trying to mount up a push here in the middle lane. Warbeast ult down, level 16 though, so it's going to be up in just about another 40 seconds. But the Ward Trap is not available, but doesn't look like Complexity is going to want to try to get anything happening here, as Tempest Ultimate is still down, and without Haxerin, that's a large portion of their damage missing.
Yeah, and that's gonna mean a lot of damage to these towers right now. The Haxer not being up for another 40 seconds, and if you notice, he just bought his Sheepstick, so he does not have to go for a buyback, and that's gonna be sort of dangerous for Complexity game, because the pressure being applied here is kind of big, isn't it?
Yeah, that tower dropping relatively fast. Tempest coming back in. He does have the ultimate available now, so we'll see if that one does come out. A nice spread here from the Legion team. The Ice Imprisonment onto Corrupted Disciple. Is he going to pop that shrunken head? No, not yet. And in fact, the Lava Surge coming out there. Corrupted Disciple dropping so low. Warbeast being played by Sweet Pro, going for that defensive tower kill. Has to back off, though. The ultimate activated, and he's going to run away. The deny comes out there from B-Kid. The Ballista would have gotten the last hit on that. Nice job making sure that that gold's not going into the Legion team, and a nice defense of the racks, really.
Yeah, I gotta say that was pretty well defended for a 4 versus 5 situation, but that kind of comes down to them being 10k Complexity Gaming, that is, being 11k gold ahead and 18k experience. It's really difficult to push base against a team like that, especially when they have both Tempest, Keeper and Magnus. I mean, so much Sterling power going on, as well as that Frost Nova not making it any easier. And with Wretched Hag just being out in 20 seconds after they started pushing the base tower, then yeah, they had to fall back. That was the right decision. But unfortunately, it was also kind of their break. That was kind of where they had a chance to shine back into this game.
Now we see Bubbles actually going in there using the Song of the Sea and the Shell Surf, so he's going to be down for a few seconds. That gave a little bit of time for the Hellborn to get slightly more aggressive with that push, but nothing quite going to happen. Power Throw coming out, trying to get a little bit of scouting done. Complexity knowing that they've got a strong push potential here, so they're playing it safe. They don't want to overextend at this point. They know they've got level 16 ultimates on 4 out of their 5 players, more red Power Throws and Shell Surfs coming out, but Complexity with their siege potential, Tempest Elementals and Tree able to just keep that going. Now Complexity falling back, looking like they want to get Kongor. Wards being thrown down. Might be looking at that big guy now.
Yeah, and I mean, why not? I mean, they have so much initiating going on for them. They have a pretty damn big advantage, so why shouldn't they go for it? This way they're forcing team fights without having towers against them, and without having the enemy kind of the edge in positioning. And as you can see, Moomin is kind of just soloing this Kongor with that Glacius. Actually now doing a lot of damage himself, applying a little bit of damage himself. But Tempest is just standing outside ready to interrupt whatever comes in, as well as Magnus. It is very difficult to interrupt them going for Kongor in this scenario, and if they want to do it, they want to do it in the very end of the Kongor kill.
Yeah, definitely. Moonmeander actually taking a lot of damage as Kongor's starting to stun lock him. Does end up portal keying on out of there. And this is actually going to give them an opportunity as the Legion wants to come in here. But Sweet Pro actually backdooring the racks right here. The root is applied, going to interrupt that. And Shrunken Head will not save him from that one. The ward drop over here on Kongor, though. It looks like Flensmeister might be able to get that token of life, and he does. But Tempest comes in with a big ultimate. Flensmeister, that token is not going to save you right there. He's going to be coming back up, but will he have enough? The Shrunken Head is applied, and Moonmeander does fall right there. No root being used just yet, and it actually looks like Haxorn going to come in. It does manage to pick up the kill on 2 of the Legion players. Bubble's the only one left. The portal key out of there, and he is going to be able to get out for the time being. The Lava Surge coming in from Beacon. Will he use his push stick? He's going to be able to get out in that fashion. He spies the bubbles. Is he going to be able to get away? Beacon wants this kill. Where's the portal key Lava Surge? He doesn't have enough mana. Complexity going to fall back for the time being. Who really got the better end of that team fight? It was kind of a chaotic thing.
That was a very chaotic thing, but you gotta remember that Sweet Pro actually picked up the Rax kill, and the Legion team prevented Hellborn from picking up the token. So even though they lost 3 heroes against 1, I mean, those racks were worth it. And now Complexity Gaming has to wait another 9 minutes for the Concord to respawn before they can really make something happen onto the base. Because if they just push straight up in the middle lane for the base, I don't think they're gonna cut that. I think they kind of need either a token or a pick off in order to make the base push.
Yeah, I really like what Pencils did there. Knowing that Warbeast was most likely going to be able to get that in racks, they sent him over there and said, hey, you are maybe going to die. If you're not able to die, that's a huge win. But even if you do, we take Kongor, which they did. They were able to get the golden experience for Kongor and the token, which was used. But Keeper of the Forest actually had to use the root in order to secure the kill there onto Warbeast. And once that root was down, that was a large portion of the teamfight potential for Complexity on cooldown. Even the Tempest ultimate, the Elemental Void came out there. The only thing that was achieved from that was, in fact, burning the Token of Life there on Corrupted Disciple. No one else was caught in it, and Corrupted Disciple didn't even use his Shrunken Head. So as soon as he came back up, he was able to do quite a bit of damage, eventually falling once that Shrunken Head did, in fact, expire. But it was a very nice setup there from Complexity, and from Pencils. So.
Yeah, exactly. That was just really a great strategic mind from. I don't know who called out that play, but whoever it was, I gotta give him props because that play was like being 3 steps ahead in chess or whatever. Because you sacrificed something, but you got something else out of it, and that was definitely worth it in this case. Gotta say, props to Pencils for making that artwork of a play.
I agree. So going from here on out, we talked about Kongor being down for quite some time. Haxorn continuing to farm extremely well. Top farmer in the game, 450 GPM, has that Hellflower and the Sheepstick. Is he going to be going for a Shrunken Head next against this CC heavy Legion team?
Oh, well, you'd think so, but I'm not quite sure. In this kind of situation, I could kind of imagine that. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're looking at Wretched Hag, he should definitely go for a Shrunken Head at the end, I think. Against the Polyrock Priest and against that ultimate from Pobbles, as well as the Silence, yeah, Wretched Hag should definitely go for a Shrunken Head.
Okay. We already do see that Mighty Blade picked up, so definitely a possibility there. Of course, it could be something like that Frostwolf Skull as well, that we see on Wretched Hags from time to time. Moonmeander with that Soul's Bulwark and the Astrolabe now, probably going to be working on a Demonic Breastplate at some point here. Shrunken Head finished on Magnus as well. B-Kid saying, you're not going to CC me. Bound Eye is also on that Magnus, so using that actually for some counter wording. You saw right there as Franzi picked that one up. Speaking of Franzi, oh no, in the bottom lane, the Blink and the Sheep coming out there onto Bassett's, but Bassett's got kind of lucky. Haxorn choosing to back off, knowing that he's not quite sure where the Legion team is, rather would just come back here and do a little bit of work on those Ancients. But Franzi actually has really good farm. 187 GPM right now. Able to get full power supply, a Bracer, Ghost Marchers, and a Void Talisman. He's had this Void Talisman for about 15 or 20 minutes now. And what an extremely useful item to have against a team with a Corrupted Disciple and a Warbeast.
Yeah, I just want to point something out because I feel like this is a key example. If you noticed when Wretched Hag was going towards Polyrock Priest, he was hellfiring him, he was haunting him, he could have gone for the kill. But if you noticed, if someone like Polyrock Priest felt like he was in danger, he would automatically be backing out. He didn't, he walked a bit towards Haxorn, so Haxorn immediately smelled, oh, something is fishy here. They didn't have wards, he just felt like something was fishy, that he might have had backup, so he immediately backed off. And that is something you don't see on a lot of players. But that little catch right there really made the difference.
Bassett's not going to get so lucky this time, as in comes the entire Complexity team right there. The Sheep, the Hellflower, the Lava Surge, the Glacial Blast, even a Storm Spirit being used there by Bassett's. On Bassett's is... Who has the Storm Spirit in this game? I don't...
You haven't noticed that?
Okay, it is on Bassett's. Alright, I was looking at Bubbles on accident. But yeah, he tried to use that to save himself, but not exactly going to happen. The new Perplex not enabling that. The Lava Surge coming out here. The Shrunken Head even activated on B-Kid. A little bit tricked there because that was an illusion.
That was well played by Corrupted Cyber, using that Yamato Bane to make a little bit of dispersion. And luckily, like, making B-Kid waste his Shrunken Head.
That was a 10-second Shrunken Head, too.
Yeah, exactly. So that's definitely speaking in favor of Complexity Gaming, but of the Legion team, because it kind of prevents Complexity Gaming from pushing even further. But I want to point out though, when you say that it's a 10-second Shrunken Head, when you play something like Magnus, having a 10-second Shrunken Head doesn't matter as much as having it on low cooldown, because on Magnus, all you really want to do is you want to run up, get that stun ready, use that Shrunken Head to make sure you can channel your ultimate, and you don't need more. You don't need 10 seconds for that. You only need about how much is the channel time? Is that 1.5?
I think it's 2.5.
2.5. Okay, so you definitely don't need 10 seconds to channel the full ultimate. But yeah, I mean, definitely it's great to have a long duration on Shrunken Head. 2 seconds. Okay, so we were compromising right there.
There you go. But yeah, so not a huge deal, but a nice job from Sweet Pro there, knowing that they most likely weren't going to be able to defend, or they didn't want to defend that outer top tier tower there, and Warbeast using his ability to push up lanes very quickly and got that tower down in the bottom lane, trading 1-for-1 opposite sides of the map. That's really the best thing that you could hope for, and using the Magnus BKB right there, the Shrunken Head, that really prevented them from continuing on pushing like you had said. So nice job there from the Pencils team, once again stalling, buying time for this Corrupted Disciple to finish some more big items like the Geometer's Bane that he just picked up. And Warbeast now with the Soul's Bulwark and 5,800 gold could be looking to finish a Demonic or any other items. Like, really, what do you think this Warbeast is going to go from here?
Honestly don't know. I kind of want to say that he should he should go for something a little bit fishy, but I think we're probably gonna be seeing a Demonic Breastplate right here. It would make a lot of sense.
Oh, Haxorn going in right here. On to Bubbles. The Sheepstick does come out. The Shrunken Head being applied there by Wretched Hag. But getting a pick on Bubbles. Pablo McDad does have the money and the availability to buy back here. So it might come out. Sheepstick on cooldown, but more importantly, that Shrunken Head on cooldown, something that you want to have available, as now Pablo McDad does in fact buy back, and as soon as the Complexity team sees that, Portal Keys blinks, everybody's getting out of there. Fine to just retreat, take the opposing jungle, and make sure that they don't overextend. Using a buyback right there, as well as getting that kill, definitely a win in their books.
Exactly, and that's what kind of distinguishes Complexity Gaming from other teams. They are really good at noticing things like buybacks, as well as like learning from their kind of grasping the situation. And as you see right now, they kind of just hang about. They do not want to push unless they're in a clear 5 versus 4 advantage. Right now, they're just waiting for Concord to respawn so they can take the fight right there, and that makes a lot of sense. It's gonna ensure them that they cannot lose a team fight just yet. So. Wow, that's the thing with BK. He is like, there's a reason why they called him, I don't know what they call him, but
I was gonna say, does he have a nickname now?
No, but he should have a nickname.
He's the Swagness. That's a nickname.
Yeah, I would call him the captain, because he's like he's like the best captain out there. He's like the master drafter. He always comes out on top of drafting, and everyone from Complexity Gaming notices that, like, always keeps on telling him about how great his drafting is. And like, if you notice some of the HoN cards as well, we also see that Transformador is also like kind of always agreeing with the kind of drafting that B-Kid makes. So, and the decisions he makes are pretty much never wrong. So I gotta say, that's like he's my favorite player, because he's not just a good player, he's also a good captain.
Yeah, he is. And now the Resto Stone being picked up here on Tempest. We might see double Tempest ultimates coming out here. Moonmeander leading the charge, that Demonic Breastplate, as well as Post-Haste finished. Post-Haste as well on Magnus, so they're going to be able to get mobile, but that doesn't matter right now as Complexity starting to force a little bit of a push, but content to just retreat for the time being. Post-Haste up to the top lane. Magnus going to clean up that push. They don't want to give up these outer towers, and essentially they were just buying time for this Kongor. Kongor back up now, immediately making its way back over there. Demonic Breastplate being finished on Sweet Pro, still with 3,200 gold, so going to be able to get a little bit of money back in case he needs to buy back. But it looks like the Legion team might be making their way over. The red power throw as well going to be making its way in, but the Kongor already at only about 30%. Legion looking like they want to commit to a fight, though, and we'll see if one does in fact happen. Oh, the Shell Surf comes in, but no, the huge Tempest ultimate, the Bat Blast as well. Chessie with a gigantic play, a second ultimate coming out as well. The Resto Stone making use right there. Moonmeander going to come in. He's going to drop the root. He's going to drop the root. He's not even dropping the root. There's the root. And Flensmeister takes the fall. The only person surviving right now is, in fact, Bass. It's Pablo McDad using his second buyback, as well as Spreet Pro buying back. Magnus going to try to put a stop to the push in middle lane. Bassett's providing vision right here, but Kongor goes down. The Aegis of Life on Haxorin, and now the Banana's just being left on the ground. Maybe he might try to snag that one, but no. Bubbles going down once again. Sweet Pro comes in, activating that Shrunken Head, tries to get someone, but the Void Talisman there, and Francie not going to be able to catch him. Chessie being held down by that tongue tie, but too tanky for the time being. Armor coming out from Tree, Nature's Veil keeping him invisible, and the GG's come out. The vote to concede is put up and passed as Complexity takes game one in this series over Pencils. What the hell just happened at that Kongor fight?
Yeah, that was definitely an unfortunate Kongor fight for Team Pencils. I just got a confirmation that like Pencils had no clue that Tempest had a Restoration Stone. They kind of had to take the fight, because if they lost that team fight, they knew they were behind. They had to make something drastic happen, and that's what they tried to do. But I mean, as you saw, Tempest made a huge ultimate happen, and he not just made one of them, he made two ultimates happen. They didn't even have to use the roots from Moonmeander, and already there, the team fight was pretty much over. So a valid effort by Pencil, and some really good strategies coming out using those. Using that little step ahead play with Setpro going towards and picking up the barracks, and then afterwards getting the token of life. That was some really damn good play by Pencils, but Complexity Gaming just playing it cool, coming out on top. A little bit of mistakes from Pencils just cost them the game.
All right. Well, like you said, some very nice plays from Pencils there. We'll see if they have what it takes to take this and bring it back to a full series. This was game one in this best of three series from the lower losers bracket. Round of 8 HoN Tour Qualifiers happened just a couple hours ago. I'm your casting host, Beef. Joining me is FJ as my co-caster. We're going to take just a very short break here before we move on to game two. Thanks for watching. This has been Complexity Cast with Beef.